Hello and welcome. So, I'm going to show you a little bit about human design because it can be really overwhelming. I know it can be. I know when I first saw my chart, I was like, what is that thing? You know? Okay. So, what you see now is a free resource that I have on one of my websites, and you can click Human Design Chart, or you can find this through my Instagram. Create your human design chart in the link in the bio, and voila, you will see it there. So let's pull up my chart. So I already have all my stuff in here, but yeah, you just have to put in your birthday, your time, your location. And I get a lot of questions about the birth time, and it is important because essentially the difference of a few minutes can potentially change your chart. It really just depends what's happening astrologically and especially on your birth date. So try to get as close as possible on this. So essentially, human design at its core is an amalgamation essentially a combination of thousands of years worth of knowledge and wisdom from different disciplines from across the globe. The traditions of Kabbalah, chakras, astrology, the I Ching. It's basically like if all of those things came together and had a baby. That's human design. So this chart can look really complicated, I know. On the right-hand side, you see all of these numbers here. All of these different boxes correlate to different planets and different astrological placements. So the first is the sun. This is the earth. The earth is unique to human design. You won't see this in astrology. You won't see the earth sign in astrology. So I think this part is really cool because the sun and the earth, and then the sun on the earth, and I'll get to this later, but those four placements make up basically your purpose. It's your incarnation cross in human design. North node, south node, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and your Chiron. So the right-hand side correlates to your exact time of birth. The left-hand side is 88 days prior to your time of birth. So this is another really interesting aspect of human design, in that it also gives you these aspects of yourself that you may not be consciously aware of. This is your unconscious side. And basically, these are the placements from more or less 3 months before your birth. And it's because you're in the womb at this point in time, it's also coding you with these unique facets of who you are. So together, combined, you'll see this in the middle. So in the middle, this is basically like you as a person. This blob here is your body, and then you have like a head right here. So basically, all jokes aside, these are the different chakras and or the energy centers. And do you see these lines that are lit up? These correlate to the right and the left-hand side. So all of these numbers light up obviously like the purple or blue, whatever that is, lilac, if you will. The lilac is the left-hand side. And then of course, this orangey tan color is the right-hand side. So they light up. And then if there's an entire, this is what's called a channel. If the entire channel is lit up, it lights up these energy centers here. And then if it's not the full channel, this is called a hanging gate. So these are gates, these numbers, they're called gates. And you'll see that these light up, but they're not fully engaged. So because this is just a hanging gate and there isn't the full channel, this energy center is not lit up. If this gate were here, this would be lit up, but it's not, so it's open. So you'll have open and defined energy centers. Open means that you're open to the wisdom of other people. You learn through these centers because it's not a consistent way that you process the world, in essence. So basically, if you're encountering someone with a defined center, they'll be conditioning you in some way, and you'll be absorbing their wisdom. And then you condition other people with the defined centers. And then each of these centers is a different area of focus. And I won't get into that in this video just because it does get a little bit complicated, and I want this to be more of an just elementary breakdown of everything, but that's essentially your chart. So when you really look into the gates, you'll see that they each have a different quality about them. And that's what I focus on. That's like the scope of my work is looking at the different qualities of these gates if they are unique to you and seeing how they interact with you and how they've established certain patterns in your life. Now I'm going to bring you to realmofbeing.com. Okay, so this is my portal and it incorporates all of the gates that you see in your chart. Initially, when I started learning about human design, I was like, wow, how do I break this down for people? It's so complicated. And do people really need to know all of the gates, how to read a chart in order to learn about themselves? Or can I really break it down in a simplistic way so that people can just go straight into incorporating these aspects into their work or how they process certain aspects of themselves and what have you. So, okay, so now you can go to realmofbeing.com, put in all of your information just like you did for that other chart, click send, and it will bring you to this page. This is essentially the 4 themes of your incarnation cross. So how I showed you that there's a sun and an earth on the right-hand side, and then the sun and the earth on the left-hand side, the unconscious side. Those are the 4 primary themes of your life purpose. And you can read about them here. So as soon as you pull up your information on realmofbeing.com, it'll show you the 4 primary gifts and shadows of your purpose. So you can read through these, the gift and then the shadow. If you're not familiar with what shadows are, these are the more challenging aspects of who we are. And it's my philosophy that essentially before we come into this lifetime, this incarnation, we've decided that we are going to face certain challenges. And through those challenges, we will learn certain lessons that we're meant to learn in this lifetime. So this is like your cheat code, essentially, to what you're supposed to be learning about in this lifetime. And these 4 shadows, there are going to be a couple of them that are likely a little bit more triggering. Just have a lot of compassion for yourself, knowing that we're meant to experience certain things in our lifetime. And we each have our own very unique shadows. So my shadows are not maybe your shadows, but they're each just as challenging as the next one, right? I mean, of course, some people have really deep trauma, and I'm not trying to minimize that by any degree, but we each are dealing with specific shadows. And when we come into this life, we're often faced with our shadows early in childhood. And then we establish patterns from there that are born of that unique shadow. And those patterns live on until we're ready to face them, usually in our 20s or later. But that pattern has to be established for us to be able to see through the pattern. And then once we undo the pattern, see the essential lie that's at the core of that shadow, then we can move beyond it and find freedom and liberation. So that's essentially, you can look at your 4 themes, whatever they may be, and then click next. And then when you reach this page, Realm of Being is composed of 12 realms that make up the human experience. And each one is ruled by a specific planet. So the 12 realms are loosely based off of the birth chart, but I play with the planets a little bit and where they rule in my own system, just because of the way that I've had it structured. Because essentially, it's the evolution of consciousness that is mirrored within the realm. Realm 1 is you as a being in the world, and then 12 is oneness, you merging with the collective and that essential oneness that is love, that's the whole of who we are. So yeah, you can click on each realm and see what your unique gifts and shadows are in every realm of life. You can read about the realm, what the realm is about, and your gifts and shadows. Click on them, and there's so much information here. It's really fun to look and see, especially if you're into self-growth, self-knowledge, discovery. There's so much here, and I'm just curious what resonates with you and what doesn't. So go ahead and take a look, see what vibes, and then message me. Let me know what you think. And if anything pops out at you, if anything that's really resonating, I'm so curious to see what that is. You can email me hello@realmofbeing.com, or you can find me on Instagram at the realm of being. And I look forward to hearing from you.